What up? What up? This is Lady Champ. I am a B-girl, a breakdancer. I grew up in Chicago, born and raised. My crew name, Chicago Champions Crew. I've traveled, I've battled, I've thrown events, I've done all types of stuff. I'm a Hall of Famer now, and just want to keep being part of the community and keep doing bigger and better stuff.
All right. And for everyone watching me, that's my cousin right there. My
Yeah,
name
we
is,
blood.
yeah, we blood. So I'm interviewing actually my cousin, and we just gonna chat here today, just about our family and of course, Lady Champ. And we're gonna continue on like that. So I do have a question. Are you named after anybody, or is that just like an original
Yeah.
name or what?
No, my name Auristela is my it was my grandma's name from my dad's side. So my mom was gonna name me Cassandra, and he was like, "I'm not having that. You're naming her after my mom." And and it's funny because my name means golden star, so I was meant to be a star somehow, right? And
Wow.
I'm the only one that looks like her and acts like her. Like they say that I act and look just like my grandma. So
So
that's an
your
honor.
grandma from your father's side.
Hmm.
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, I'm a golden star.
Wow. And you met her.
Yes, yes. She was amazing. She taught me how to pray. She taught me like how to sew. She taught me like a lot of little cute things that I to this day I remember. Um, and she was amazing. She was just so sweet, you know. So to be looking like her, acting like her, and named after her, I'm honored.
And where was she from? In the States or?
She was from Dominican Republic, but they lived in Washington Heights. It's all Dominicans in New York, you know.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I'm half Puerto Rican and half Dominican. So my mom's
Yeah,
Puerto
yeah.
Rican.
Yeah, yeah. And I only asked that because your family, you got roots in New York, but you also grew up in Chicago. So how
Yeah.
was Chicago growing up? Because you talked about kind of like your grandmother and she taught you these little things here and there, but how
Yeah.
was the family side in Chicago?
The family side in Chicago was all Puerto Rican, no Dominican families here. So it was interesting because it was different times, you know. So it was rough, it was gangbangers, it was drive-bys, there was drugs everywhere. It was, you know, so we were just a product of our environment. We just grew up rough. We were rough, but we all got along, always together, big family parties. So that was a blessing. But when we left the house, it was rough.
Did you any specific part of Chicago you grew up in, or did you bounce around a lot?
Yes,
Or
no, we grew up in Humboldt Park, Logan Square area. When I got older, I moved up north to like Albany Park. That's where I learned how to break. And and now I live in the burbs.
so was it the so that's crazy, right? Because you moved around and then you finally found it. You said you started where breaking
In Humboldt Park? Oh, in Albany Park.
in
It's like
Albany
up
Park.
north by Lawrence and Kedzie. There's a laundromat, and behind the laundromat, we used to get a big, giant cardboard and just break on the cardboard, and then eventually upgrade it to linoleum. But it was cardboard with tape, and
That's
yeah, it was
it was
fun.
some on the cement. It was hard.
It was good times though. We used to make money.
Wow, really?
Yeah, street performing. Yeah, it was nice.
That's crazy. So,
Yeah.
and I think these two things come together as far as like breaking. But was it the music first? Because that you heard, or was it that you saw it and then you was like, "What is that?" Because sometimes
Yeah.
we could hear the music and we're like, oh, "Okay, that what kind of music is that?"
No.
Or was it
So
like you saw it and then it was like, "Wow."
yeah. In 1985, I believe, we were in New York staying with my dad because we would go in the summer. And my aunts we went to the bodega. And as we were walking back in front of their building, there was some guys breaking. And I stopped walking and I was
Wow.
like, what is that? And then my aunt just grabbed me and yanked me. So she's like, don't look at them, they're bad. And I was like, in my head, I just knew it wasn't bad. You know, I was like, but it's not bad. Like it looked good to me. Somehow it attracted my eyes. So then when I got back here, my cousins Ricky and Raymond were breaking, and they were breaking on the corner of I believe Sawyer and North Avenue, and they had a cardboard. And I remember sitting like when my legs just bent like this and watching them. And I was like, please teach me, please, please. And they were like, get out of here, you're a girl. And I was like, I promise that I'll practice, I promise. And they wouldn't teach me. So then in the 90s, I was like a competitive house dancer. And I saw breaking came back, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it now, and no one can stop me. Because now
Wow.
I don't have to ask. I can just go, you
So
know?
how much time between you actually seeing it in New York and then you, like you said, you seen your friends doing and you was asking, hey, show me how to do
Yeah.
it. Was that
So I
like a
saw
year
it.
later or maybe?
No, I saw it at 85 for the first time. And then I started breaking in 92. So 7 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But I
Okay.
knew I
But
wanted to do it.
you held on to it that long, like
I
that
knew I wanted
long
to do
that
it.
like so it just kept coming back to you all the time. And
Yeah.
what kind of gear? Do you remember what they were wearing? Like, were they wearing just like some regular stuff? Like, was
There
Adidas?
in New
Did you
York,
even
I
notice?
remember. No, in New York they had those tank tops and just shorts because it was hot. Maybe some Adidas. And here my cousins had like, I think they had like little track suits because that's how we
Mm-mm.
started breaking because we were trying to mimic them. So we had track suits and I'm not gonna lie, we look cool.
Yeah, yeah. Because I see your style now, though, and you still wear your Adidas. You like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You still you faithful to the Adidas, brand and stuff like that. As far as breaking and stuff,
yeah.
were there any other popular brands you think that people used to wear?
Pumas,
Pumas was
Pumas,
big.
Adidas. But back in the 80s, everybody wore everything like Lottos, British Knights,
Ooh,
Nike.
Lottos. I remember Lottos. They
I
used to
used to
take the
like
patch
those.
off. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to like the British Knights, though. They were dope. All Stars, the Converse, but Puma and Adidas always was part of the hip hop community.
So my mom, my story as far as like Chicago, my mom left New York. I mean Chicago. And I was still young. I think maybe 5, 6 years old when I left. And we went to Connecticut to live with my uncle. And there's another story to that why we left Connecticut, but it was during Christmas time. And we ended up going to New York. And in New York at the time, I was maybe 5, 6 years old still. So I was still too young. But then when my mom finally got her apartment, or maybe 2, 3 years later, I'm now like 8 years old and I'm living in the South Bronx. I'm living like, you know, close to Bronx Community College. Maybe I lived on 176 and Yankee Stadium was in 161st. So every time the stadium lights would come on, you could still kind of see it in the sky. And I remember, um, obviously at the time when I moved, I didn't know no English when I was
Oh,
5. Yeah, when I was 5, I didn't know no English. So I ended up going to, I don't remember what those classes are called, bilingual.
yeah. I
I
didn't know
went,
that.
yeah. So I went to bilingual class and New York was rough back then. I mean, they would slap you in the hand and pull your ears and all that type stuff. So I learned English kind of like forced, right? But I was still young. I was
Mm.
5. And I remember that. And I ended up telling my mom, and then, my mom went in there and caused hell and stuff like that. But that's how they were like, that was acceptable, right? Like they would
Yes.
hit you with a ruler and stuff like
Yep.
that. And I was like, what? What's going on? But I learned English in New York and we ended up moving to the South Bronx. And in the South Bronx, they had breaking. It was big, it was everywhere.
Ooh, ooh.
And I'm 5'6", so I'm thinking this is like 83,
Yeah.
82, 83 for me. And you
Yeah.
saying 85. So for me, it's like 83,
Yeah.
83, 84, something like that. So it's
But
about
it
the
wasn't
same.
here yet. I mean, it was here, but it wasn't here like it was there.
Right. So at the time, though, you don't know. So for me, I guess, because it's history, right? And it's a lot bigger than me, you, and whoever, because I was already living in the Bronx from like from 1980. So from 1980, 81, I'm already there. And, hip hop is kind of still, becoming what it
Evolving.
is,
Yeah.
evolving. And I remember it was a couple movies that came out after, but I remember they created this breakdancing book. It was like this breakdancing book, like a little pamphlet, and it would teach you how to do, like, it wasn't even that big, but it had like maybe 10 pages of, like, certain moves, how to spin on your back, the
Yeah.
putting your hands between your legs and walking like a crab or something like that. It was like all these things, and people would try it. And I remember seeing people with the cardboard,
You didn't try it, cuz?
I tried it. I had the little book. Me and my friends, we did try it and stuff, but it was never like, I don't know, it never stuck.
That's
I
because
went
I wasn't in your life.
no, yeah, yeah.
Because
I
I would have
enjoyed
been
the
like, let's
music.
go.
Yeah, I tried to rap for a while, so I did the music that way,
Nice.
but I remember seeing hip hop, as far as like that. And then going to the house jams, and people used to a lot of graffiti. And the reason I asked you also about was what they were wearing is because hip hop, a lot of influence came from breaking too, as far as
Mm-hmm.
like what people wore and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. Maybe not today, maybe I don't know, because
Nah, I don't think
the
today, but
style
back
has
then, yeah.
changed, right? But the people are still wearing the velour suits and stuff like that. Adidas sweatpants, and
Yeah.
Adidas is like big, still today. So I wanted to add. So we went into that a little bit, and I'm sorry for steering off. But is there uh when you how old were you? You say you was in New York. So what, middle school? Were you going in high school now? I'm just
No,
trying to
I was
like.
little. I was 1985. I had to be like
Mm.
what,
Oh,
8?
so you 8? Okay.
Yeah,
So
so
you're in
7 or 8, because
middle
we
school.
were just there for the like 2 weeks in the summer just to be with my dad. And then we would come back, and then but yeah, I love that's why I love New York so much, because I feel like a little kid when I go back. I feel like, oh my God, I'm a little kid. Oh, I love New York. The smell, I know it stinks, but the smell just brings me back to being a little kid. And honestly, it's really clean now compared to when I was little. Like when I was little, New York was rough.
Hmm. Hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah, New York in the 80s was kind of tough. It was like the crack epidemic and a lot of
And the
burnt
stick up kids.
buildings, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was really like The Warriors, the movie, right?
Yeah, it was
The
crazy.
Warriors.
I was like, what is this? And when I would come back to Chicago, it was so clean and different that I was like, happy to be back. But I do
So
love New York. To this day, the smell just makes me feel like a little kid.
yeah, it's different. It has a vibe. I mean, I've been to Chicago maybe 3, 4 times in my whole life. And it every time I go back, like this time it was different when I went back because I got to see, like, meet so many people in the family. And I'm sure when in July when we do our thing, it's
Eh,
gonna be even more. But
yeah.
this time was different due to the circumstances, but I did get to see a lot of people. And I guess I asked you about the how old you were because I want to see when you get popular, right? And you said that so that means by the time you got to high school,
So
you was
I
popular.
started breaking in 92. So that was, I think, my sophomore year in high school. But I already was cool because I already was house dancing. So I already had like a reputation, but I wasn't lady champ. I was just outie. But um then when I started breaking, it was like a whole different scene, going to different parties. Like, oh man, it used to be so fun. That's why, cuz if we grew up together, we would have been in trouble.
Hmm.
I would have been like, Primo, pick me up, let's go.
Hey, house music ain't no joke either.
Yeah, and especially here, we have, we're known for our house music. So it was popping back then.
Were there any obstacles you faced though? Like at the beginning was because you said hey, we didn't want to teach you. You're a girl, get up out of here, and I know women had their challenges, and just in
Not
history at
really,
all.
because when I met my crew, um, they were like, hell, because they saw me dancing house and they were like, hell yeah, we'll teach you. So it was, all my dedication and focus was on that. Because before that, I used to fight a lot. I would go to schools to fight the best fighter. Like I was always fighting. I'm telling you, we were a product of our environment. We were angry, but I was real angry. I don't know what was wrong with me, hormones or something. But I used to fight a lot. And when I started breaking, I had no time to fight because I was like, I gotta learn these moves.
Right,
I gotta
right.
focus on footwork. You gotta get this stuff. So I stopped fighting. My whole life changed.
Was that normal in those days? Like a lot of
Hmm.
fighting. Like at 3 o'clock, I'm gonna see you
Yep.
outside, and we're
Yep.
gonna
Everybody
fight.
used to fight or gangbang or sell drugs or do drugs or like somebody was doing something. Like we grew up in a crack building. We used to see them shoot up and just be all high, just and with the needle in the vein, and that was normal to us. That's
Where
sad
were
that is normal to us.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. So you say you grew up in a building. Was there a certain part of the city that was more buildings than houses? Or is that
Uh,
just, or is it just like little
no.
pockets of certain areas that have buildings and
Everybody I know grew up in a building. So if you go more outwards, outskirts, there's houses. There's houses everywhere though. So
right?
no, there was houses on my block, but we grew up in an apartment and but growing up was fun. I wouldn't change that. Like that at that time, kids were all outside, parents were all outside. People would watch each other's kids outside. People, you're playing games all day. We stood out till 9, 10 o'clock or till the light, the sun went out. Like life was so good. Like it was so beautiful, and now you don't see kids outside. I'm like, where are the
Yeah,
kids?
yeah,
What are
yeah,
they doing inside? Like, go
yeah.
outside.
Definitely growing up in a building, because like I said, I grew up in New York City, and it was all buildings. Unless you like, if you had a house.
Yeah.
You was just like you had money, like wow, you got money, you live in a house. Like when my
Yeah.
friends, where I grew up, it was all, and I'm talking about the 80s. So in the 80s, and from my memory, it was a lot of burnt buildings. And I remember we used to have like mattresses that we would stack on top of each other and like do flips on them, right?
That
And
is so sad
just be
too,
outside,
though.
yeah, on dirty mattresses. We'll be like
Yeah.
outside flipping on these mattresses and just practicing these moves because the buildings were boarded up, and like you said, there was a lot of drugs and stuff like that. But in that area across the street was not buildings but houses, and it was like nice houses. So one of my friends, the only person I knew that grew up in houses, he grew up there. So I was just like, wow, you know what I'm saying? He like lives in a, but because we grew up in a building, there was always kids outside. There was
Hmm.
always, oh, I go to my friend's house right here in the third floor when it's too cold. Now, man,
Yeah.
you don't see them nowhere. They're like gone.
No, we
They're
were always
zombies.
outside. Yeah, I don't know where they're at, but we were always outside. It was so nice. That's why I didn't watch TV. People were like, "You never watch TV?" I was like, "Hell no, I was outside. I didn't care to watch TV. TV wasn't big for us. It was just like with cartoons, of course, yeah, but like I didn't have time to sit there and watch a movie. You're crazy,
Did you ever
and
get
then on paper,
nervous? Did you ever get nervous like doing the breakdancing stuff or just
yeah,
like being in front of people, or did you get
yeah.
more
At first,
nervous
at
as the
first it's a
crowds
little bit
got bigger?
nervous. No, no, no. At first, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but it's not because I was housing already, so I was already going in circles. So I wasn't scared of that. But you want to make sure your move comes out right, or I'm practicing this, but I'm not gonna do it in front of you. Like until I get it, or like street performing. That was easy because I was the only girl, and people would be like, "Oh, 20 if you do a head spin." I was like, okay, freaking money flying everywhere. The guys would bust their ass and they'll get $1 if that. They're like, that's not fair. And I'm like, hey, I'm a girl. But we shared the money. It's not like I kept the money. But no, not really. I wasn't scared. I wasn't shy. I already was used to being in circles, so I wasn't worried about that.
So how was, because you talking about circles, it just brought something to my mind. Battles. Was it like I'm gonna battle you and you just go to a neighborhood, or it was just like you doing your thing and then people see you from across the street and they walk up and y'all just put this circle and then you just in the middle battling? how
It
was
was,
that? Like,
it was
was
both.
it
It was
like,
both. Like,
because I would assume that you were like a myth, right? To people because they will
yeah,
only hear about you. They'll be
yeah.
like, there's this girl and she, like you guys would just hear, not you guys,
Not
but like
not
females
really.
and males.
Because
No, it was,
if you ask all the old school guys, they'll be like, "Yeah, we didn't mess with that girl. She was crazy. She would call us all out. Like she would go up to you. Like they knew I was already feisty. I came from the hood. Don't give me these skills and not expect me to use them. So I would go. I'll be like, I'm gonna battle you, and your whole crew. I was crazy. I was crazy. I was crazy from when I
but but
started to
what
like,
but how did you do it? Like, were you just like were you seeing people break dancing and you just walk up to them, or was it like you had a party, a house party? Because
yes, yes.
I'm
Most of the time it's like that parties. But if I seen somebody like in the neighborhood, I'll be like, "Man, I'm a battle for him, whatever. I'll go over there. Oh man." But no, mostly at parties. We used to go, this is sad too, but we used to go geared up, ready to battle. Like we'll be like, oh, we know they're gonna be there tonight. Let's battle them. And then after the battle, we would fist fight. Like I would be involved
what?
fighting all these guys. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Always.
Wow. And it would just be like a fun time to all suddenly. At
It
least
was
people fought
normal.
back in the days with their fists. Less
Yeah, yeah.
less
There was no stabbing, no
guns
shooting.
and stuff like that.
No,
Yeah. So any obstacles you faced early on because you say you were feisty, so I'm assuming you was just toot toot toot
no,
knocking people
because I
out.
knew how to protect myself. I knew how, so no girls wanted to mess with me ever. Like they were like, nah, that girl is crazy. The guys respected me. So I never really had problems, any situation, any problem, and then I had a crew full of guys. Like, you're gonna mess with me for
Hmm.
nah,
Right.
nah.
Was there any time that you thought I gotta change? I can't I can't keep doing this, or was it a progression in breaking for you that you was like, because we talking about high school, right? You was still house
Yeah,
dancing, then you're getting now your skills building up to a point where you're actually thinking, because it's like hip hop, in my opinion, people didn't even probably think they could make a lot of money from it. So
right.
back then, I'm assuming breakdancing as well, people didn't really think because hip hop is a lot of things, breakdancing, clothing, all this other stuff. So I'm assuming people really think there was like money on we could make money from this. Like you said, we on the
True.
streets entertaining, but it
Yeah,
was like not the way it is now, like even reached the Olympics, right? So
yeah,
this is huge. So,
yeah. The only struggle, honestly though, the only struggle I had was my family, like my mom, really. Oh, aren't you too old for that? Aren't you too this for that? Like, no, like, I don't know. Like, if I was doing ballet and I was the same age, you wouldn't question it. If I was dancing salsa and I was the same age, you wouldn't question it. But because I'm doing something that is different, you're questioning it. That's the only problem I've ever had that kind of hurts my soul because I'm like, you should love what I love. Like, and you should love that
right.
I'm good at it. And you should love that I have a reputation, which they do. They're like, oh my God, you're lady champ. Every time we go out with you, you're like famous. And I'm like, stop it, like, but
Hmm.
when it comes to like, I can't believe you're still doing that. Like, why would you? Like I said, if I was
Hmm.
playing basketball and I'm retired and I'm still playing, you wouldn't question it. But because it's something different, you want to be like, oh, like you're old or you're this.
Was this when you were younger? You talking about when you was
Younger and even now, like,
as you were as you already lady champ and you established in the like you walk outside,
and
people's like, hey man,
it's really just my mom though, because everybody
yeah,
else
yeah,
always
yeah,
like they would love that I'm Lady Champ. All my cousins, everybody was like, wow, she's like cool, So I never had a problem like that. It's just my mom,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm like, girl, get it
Moms
together.
are protective. Moms are protective for everything. So talking
Hmm.
about your mom, was there like a favorite dish that your mom cooked for you that you was like, man, I love this, or
When I
just
was
even
little,
a family dish, or maybe just a dish from your mom? Was there like a favorite food that you like I could eat this last meal on earth, I gotta eat this?
well, when we were little, man, there's a lot. Like I used to love white rice and eggs because sometimes we didn't have money to buy some meat or whatever. I used to love white rice with pork chops, white rice with chicken, rice and beans. But pork chop and chicken was really what we had all the time. Now, oh, I don't like pork chops because I had
Mm.
so many. And chicken, like the way she used to make it, I'll eat like one or two, a little bite or two, but I don't like it because I ate so much of it that I'm like, oh,
How about a
anyway.
Dominican dish? Is there a Dominican dish that you like? I
Let me
love
tell
this
you,
one. Hmm.
anything, anything my Dominican aunts make, I don't care. Don't even tell me because if it's
Hmm.
something nasty, don't tell me what it is. It tastes, they cook so good.
Hmm.
And it's different from Puerto Rican food, so it's like, oh, you can give me, yeah, give me some
So
Dominican
you
food
can
all
eat
day.
that? You can
Yeah,
eat that? Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Puerto
Dominican food
Rican
is
food, I
good.
can make it. So I'm like, I can make that. Oh, I can make that.
Hmm.
So if I want it, I make it. But Dominican food, I never learned how to make it like they do. They cook
Hmm.
so good.
Hmm.
My God, they have a
Look,
cookbook actually, my aunts.
really? But
A Dominican cookbook. I bought it, but I'll send you the link. I don't know the link. If I know the link, I'll just buy it again. But I tried
Well,
a lot
send
of
it to
stuff.
me and I'll put it in the video too. Maybe people that's
Yeah,
watching will be like, I'll
they
check
got a
that
cookbook.
out.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, me, that's crazy because that's like real dishes, not chat GPT dishes, right? These are dishes
Hmm.
that they like,
So
and
good.
it,
You don't
and
even
you
know.
try to tell anybody that's Spanish or Caribbean to show you, how much salt did you put in that? It's hard.
Yeah.
So for
But
somebody
you
to,
don't even measure. They just
nah,
like
they just this much, how much, this
yeah.
much, this much,
And
and
I'm
you
like,
like,
wait, do it again.
so how does it feel to represent Chicago though? How does that
Feels
feel?
great. I'm so honored. And I want to do so much more. Like I'm working on a few projects. Um, but I just want to keep repping, keep doing, because I want to keep doing events. I want to keep teaching. I want to keep just going out there. I want to keep speaking on panels. I want to write a book. I want to like, there's a lot of things I want to do. So, and then it's like I can't leave the scene, no matter how many times they try to walk away, it ain't gonna
Mm,
work. So I will forever be in the scene. I'll be 70 years old up in this scene.
yeah. Hey, ride or die, you know what I mean? That's so, being that you already established, like, hey, I'm gonna do this forever in some capacity, whether it's like showing someone else or maybe public speaking, you're real good at that, very motivational. So I definitely say, hey, go that route for yourself. But is there any lessons that you learned just from breaking alone?
Yeah. So so in 2007, I was paralyzed. Took a shower at the gym. I didn't have sandals on and I had athlete's foot. So I caught some kind of staph infection and I was paralyzed. It took one leg out, the other leg out, and it was working its way up. And by the time they caught it, it was up to my rib cage. So I was paralyzed up to there. And I lived in a rehab center for 3 months. So,
Wow.
you do therapy all day. I was in that wheelchair. I did all my therapy. Like they were like, "How are you so good?" And I'm like, "Because I used to break. And when you break, well, when I was breaking, my guys would be like, I'll be like, "Can you teach me how to do a windmill?" They would do it once and just walk away. And I'm like, "But even see it." So I had to watch and learn. So if
Wow.
I was going to watch, I had to pay attention to every detail because I knew they were going to walk away. So when I was at the rehab center, I learned how to do tricks on my wheelchair. Like I was amazing.
Wow.
I was actually going to join the Paralympics. I started playing basketball in my wheelchair, and I really owe that all to breaking because I was like, I can do this. I can't judge, I can't dance anymore, but I can judge competitions. I can't dance anymore, but I can speak on panels. I can't dance anymore, but I can throw events. Like I already was going, and people were like, "But aren't you mad at God? Aren't you mad?" And I'm like, "No, what? Like, are you crazy? Now I can use all these other talents now. I used them before, but not to that capacity. Like my mind was out of control. But yeah,
Wow.
it taught me how to watch and learn and that I can do anything. You can do anything, anything.
I mean, I think I want to stop it here. You know what I'm saying? For real. Because I want people to go and look at part two, where we talk
Bet,
about maybe some
bet,
battles,
bet.
You know what I'm saying? We could talk about some
Bet.
battles. We could go a little bit more deeper because we never said what the crew name was that you was in and
Yeah,
all
let's
that. And
go.
maybe some of those members too. We don't know where they are. Maybe they
Yeah,
got popular as well because I mean your crew is not just you. You know,
yeah,
you was made by other people. So I want to talk
yeah,
about that too. I want to talk about your crew. I want to talk about, the battles that you had, not
yeah.
only, just in breaking, but just like you just said, the battle of just coming back to walk. And I want to know, you said it took you how long to
It
come back
took
to?
me about about 3 months to walk, and then to break again, probably about a year later, because I was going to the gym to
Mm,
do to try to walk on a treadmill, and I couldn't walk a lot. But I would go to the aerobics room, and you know how they have the mirrors, and then I used to just a little step and a little step and a little step, and I was like, wow, I can up rock real slow and not a lot of movement, but I can do
hmm
it. And I felt good. It made me feel like I can dance again. And then I was like, okay, so every day when I come back, I got a little better, a little
Wow.
better, a little better.
Don't give
Yeah,
them
I'm
no more.
getting
Don't give them no more. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Hey, so everybody, thank you for watching me and my cousin, Lady Champ. I'm Jack's
yeah,
Views. And hey, we'll be waiting for you all in part two.
yeah,
Anything?
kisses.
Bye,
I'll
cuz.
be back part two.
Bye.